AMP3 is the new Xbox 360 snowboarding game from Indie Build. Now, they made AMP1 and AMP2 with Microsoft, but have since joined 2K Games for AMP3, and you can really tell the difference in the way that Microsoft handled the series and the way that 2K is handling the series, because the game has gone completely crazy. The first two games, pretty straight-laced, but AMP3 is by far the craziest snowboarding game ever. Also, probably the craziest Xbox 360 launch game. The snowboarding itself is pretty straightforward. It feels pretty natural. It's got a kind of a Tony Hawk, a stripped-down Tony Hawk feel to it. But it's all the other stuff that surrounds that really gives the game a lot of character and a lot of personality, and really makes it hard to put down. Now, there's the main story mode in the game, which puts you as sort of this generic, blank slate snowboarder. You're hanging out with your crew up in Lake Tahoe, you're getting together a vacation fund, and you're going to go down to Chile for a month. But at some point, your vacation money gets stolen, and you get blamed for it, and your crew splits up. It seems pretty generic, pretty straightforward, kind of like, your average action sports story. But it goes in such a bizarre direction that you can't even expect, and it just doesn't ever stop getting crazier until the very end, when it's just at a fevered pitch of lunacy.
She's hired a team of super hunk bodyguards to help keep camera-toting parasites from snapping and unflattering photos as she takes up the sport of snowboarding, which I found out is something like surfing, yet also similar to skiing of all things.
In fact, because the gameplay is pretty straightforward, it can get a little bit boring at times to play, especially since the challenges that you have to go through can get a little repetitive. There are a few different kind of slalom challenges, trick score challenges, item pickup challenges that you end up doing over and over again. But it's worth it because you just want to see what's going to happen next in the story. It's kind of like Metal Gear Solid in that way. At least that's what I think. AMP3 is mostly a trick-based game as far as the gameplay goes. It's not like SSX, which was more of a racing game. So you are going to be doing a lot of tricks in the game. There's also other cool kind of peripheral stuff that you get to do as well, not on a snowboard. Like, for example, at any time you can hit the pause button and jump onto a snowmobile and ride around whatever course that you're on that. The courses themselves are all cues. They're all based on real courses, and they're all totally seamless. You can go all over the map at any time, any way that you want to. So you get on your snowmobile, you can just drive up the hill. So that's a pretty cool thing, and that's something that definitely kind of flexes the power of the Xbox 360. AMP3 doesn't actually have a dedicated multiplayer mode, but it does have a few specific multiplayer challenges in the single-player game. So you'll just be going around doing challenges, just snowboarding around, doing whatever, and then you'll come upon a challenge that you're going to need a second player to pick up a controller and hit start for you to do. These challenges are mostly sledding challenges, so it's you and another player get on a pair of sleds that are roped together. They're tied up, and so the idea is that you're going to go down this hill and try to bail as bad as you can. So whichever player is able to cause the most damage to themselves wins, which is actually a lot of fun. It's quite satisfying. There are other weird kind of peripheral stuff like that. You can throw snowballs at other snowboarders just by targeting. There's like a lock-on targeting system. You can huck a snowball at them. Other snowboarders will also huck snowballs at you at a regular basis. So there's more to it than just straight snowboarding. There is a certain amount of customization. At the beginning of the game, you do create your own character. The character creation, not incredibly deep, but you can make a pretty unique looking person, male or female. You can customize things like the voice that they use. They have like a straightforward or kind of like a smart-ass voice that you can have. You can also buy gear. As you play through the game, you'll unlock all sorts of gear. Snowboards, bindings, shirts, jackets, pants, boots, gloves, all that kind of stuff. Most of it branded stuff. You'll see Burton in there. You'll see a lot of name brands in there, but you also see some kind of goofy stuff. But what's so crazy about the game is its cut and paste visual style. All the packaging around it, all the menus, all of the cutscenes, the different influences that it takes are so random and surreal that it's just so hard to look away from. You're going to go from anime to modern comic book styles to claymation, stop motion animation, sock puppets. I mean, it goes all over the map, and that is truly the most endearing thing about AMP3. The thing about AMP3 is that unlike most of the other Xbox 360 launch titles, this doesn't fall neatly into a nice little genre. There are a lot of games coming out for the Xbox 360 which are average sports games, driving games, first-person action games, action-adventure games, stuff that pretty well falls into a pre-laid archetype. As a snowboarding game, AMP3 is pretty good, but where it really excels is the way it's able to tap into the market of people who don't care at all about snowboarding games. So if you're just looking for something crazy, give AMP3 a look.